All right, day two. I was planning to like shower and like fix my beard and stuff, but in keeping with the theme of being authentic, I figured fuck it, like this is literally what it looks like day two of independence, and I've realized a lot of different things. Um, the most interesting thing that I've kind of come to realize is my entire body has been in fight or flight mode pretty much my entire life. So now that I have this like space where it's like calm and peaceful, I literally do not know what to do with myself. Like I find I'm just getting anxious because it's like quiet, or I'm getting anxious by like sitting still. Um, so maybe this is a sign I need to start meditating again, or yeah, really, I guess the fear behind being alone or independent. Yeah, I guess the fear in being independent is really the fear of being alone. And I think this is something a lot of people go through, but don't know, right? And this really does tie into even like my last relationship, right? I think both of us were just like very lonely people, or like we felt very alone in life. And that's kind of what drew us together. But then at the same time, like we became everything for each other, and like no relationship can survive that weight, right? And it's no fault of hers. I take it on myself. Like I'm the guy. Like I was the one leading the relationship, or should have been the one leading the relationship. So that's on me. Like, um, as much as like things fell apart and like I was angry and like I wanted to blame somebody for everything falling apart. Like really, it was my own fault. Like it's my own doing. So there's nobody to blame but myself. And yeah, so I mean, I'm realizing that I need to kind of come to terms with being still, not having to just keep moving and like not running away, being okay like with my thoughts, understanding where they're coming from, what's kind of triggering each thought, and then just kind of staying regulated, right? So, yeah, I mean, I had no idea where this channel was going to go. I still have no idea where this channel is going to go, but nonetheless, like I'm just documenting my journey at this point, right? Like whether somebody watches this video or not, like it's cool to just be able to go back in time and like see an older version of yourself. And that's something that's really kind of stuck with me throughout the years. So like when I used to make content in 2010, like you would never really see me on camera. And then when I met Stefan in like 2018, he was like, look, like if you're gonna do full time, like you gotta make a video every day. I don't care if your eyes are bleeding. Rest in peace, Stefan. Um, and that was what set me on my journey, really. Um, but yeah, so it would be cool to like go back and like see some of my old content and see kind of like where my mind was at, or what was going on in my life, or like what was my style like. And then like it's kind of like a way to time travel because you know what you were thinking in those moments when you're like recording, right? And like you kind of just forget about life because so much just happens on like a day-to-day basis. So it's cool to see that. And then the other thing that's kind of cool, it ties into what I was talking about yesterday, is like I'll see this like certain memory, right? So like I think it was 13 years ago. Like this moment I had run away from home and I had become a barber. And then like 11 years ago, same thing, except I was in Pakistan. I was working with like a family friend in their factories. So like anytime you see made in Pakistan, like Puma, Reebok, Champs, like 90% chance it came out of their factory. Yeah, and then again now like 2025, here I am again chasing independence, but like this time I actually did it. Um, the last time I did this, like when I went to Winnipeg, that's like a whole long story, but like it really wasn't independence. And then same thing, like when I started building my life, like my in terms of my relationship, it I thought I was like being independent, or I was chasing independence, but I was just running from myself. And like it was independence, but I wasn't truly free, right? I was still dependent on my dad. So like as much as like I wanted to be in control or like leading my own life, like I couldn't lead the relationship because I wasn't even like allowed to lead my own life, you know? And anytime I've wanted to do something, like I've been trained that I have to like beg for permission from my parents or like over explain and like make my points, right? This is why I feel like I probably would have been a great lawyer, just because like if you ever get into an argument with me, like you're not winning, you know? And a lot of that comes down to asking the right questions. And I think this is where another thing where people kind of get lost is they don't know what questions to ask, and then a lot of the time they're asking questions to the wrong people. A lot of the growth that I've kind of experienced has been like first it was questions I was like pondering like why did this happen to me? Why did this person do this, etc. But then the questions turned inward, so now it's like why did I do this? Why did I have this thought? And like figuring out what's driving me, you know? And I guess this wouldn't have been possible if I didn't have my own place, somewhere to just kind of like sit and be with my thoughts. Plus like journaling. So I started filling in this notebook on the 24th and like you can see like making good progress, you know? Um Pretty much every day I try to write at least one paragraph. There's some days where I end up writing like 4 or 5 pages. And yeah, you know, but tomorrow's another day. Hopefully I start to like stabilize and like feel at home and like I'm okay having like no chaos around me, and then start building, you know, making a routine. And yeah, I also do now have a new profound respect for like anyone who's had to like build something from scratch, or like anybody who's like left their hometown and gone to a different place and like just lives on their own. Um, Props to you. Like it takes a lot to be able to do that. Um, and I'm learning this now, pretty late in life, but you know, better late than never. But yeah, I mean, key takeaway from today is learn to go inward, learn to be present, learn to regulate yourself, learn to be grounded, centered, calm. I find the times when my life was going really bad is when I was being very reactive and not very intentional. Um, and I think this is one of the main things that kind of keeps drawing me back to like Islam, is because everything is very intentional, right? You can't just like you have to have an intention behind whatever you're doing, and everything comes back down to the intention, whether it was good or bad. Um, and then discipline, right? So really, like I feel like a phoenix, except this time, like every single time I've gone through this, I didn't have the scaffolding in place. So like eventually I would just catch in flames and everything would implode. So this time I'm trying to do things different, you know, and looking forward to where this goes, what this journey turns into. Grateful for life, I guess, and the lessons, even at times when I really don't want to be, you know. And yeah, I guess really it's a journey of becoming a man, or becoming what I would consider a man, or like a real man, right? And the more I understand myself, the more I kind of understand people around me, whether that's my parents, whether that's uh, the girl that I still love and am not with, or my family, like siblings, cousins, friends. Also realizing now that like it's very important to have good quality friends. And I thought I had some good friends around, but really when push comes to shove, that's when you kind of realize who's really there for you. And it's both liberating and kind of sad to realize that like you don't really have friends. So shout out to John. I don't know if he's ever gonna see this video, and he probably won't, but like that's somebody I'm very grateful to have in my life. And that's somebody I consider like a real friend, somebody I've known since like grade 7. And yeah, so I mean, now outside of like focusing, building my business and like getting my health routine back in order. The next thing I need to add it, well, actually, like, and like praying, like spirituality, like religion needs to be the first pillar, is what I'm realizing. Everything else kind of comes secondary. And like the one thing I've been doing now is when I feel anxious, I kind of just tell myself, like, look, you rely on yourself, you rely on God, you don't need to rely on anybody else, right? And like, because you relied on all these people, that's why your life is where it is now. So like, you like I have to accept it. Like those are my decisions. I decided to rely on those people, and that's what got me to where I am, right? So I'm not like feeling sorry for myself or like being a victim. Like it is what it is. It's life, right? It's about figuring out where you went wrong and then kind of just getting up and going and like keep moving forward. And I guess now that I'm saying this, the part about this that kind of hits me the most is that like the one person who was actually there for me, I like abandoned and was like pushing me and like could see I was lost and just stuck and like didn't know how to reach me or like get me to be moving again. And yeah, I mean, I guess that's kind of like always going to be in the back of my head. Like there's so much about that relationship that like I mean, I could write like books about this, you know? But yeah, I mean, it sucks that she had to see that version of me and that was like the last memory she'll ever have of me. But that version of me died and now I need to create a version of myself that like I don't need to run from, that I'm okay being alone with myself and like my thoughts and like build a life, you know, something that I can actually invite somebody into and like not become a side character in their life. And yeah, there there's so much still to learn. And I guess that's like the funny part of all of this is like the more you learn and like reach the point where you're like, okay, now I figured it all out, then you realize like, oh wait, I haven't figured out shit. Like there's so much still that I gotta figure out. And yeah, this is gonna turn into a whole other ramble. I think I gotta like set a timer or something before I start these videos, but if you stay till the end, you are a gem of a person. If any of this like resonated with you, uh, just drop me a comment, let me know. Um, and if you were just here to watch me ramble, that's also cool, you know? No judgment. Like, this isn't really for anyone other than myself. And like, if along the way, like people relate to my journey or like different experiences I've been through, or like it inspires somebody to go and tell their own story or inspires somebody to go chase freedom, like, so be it. Like, that would be cool. That'd be like kind of a bonus, but really it's just like a way for me to process my thoughts and like put this out in the universe, you know? I have no idea what's gonna come of it, but yeah, it is what it is. I appreciate you all, whoever's watching this video, whenever you're watching this video, and I'm gonna go for a walk or something. Cheers.